Archbishop Dr. Paul Kong, Headmaster Mr. Ronnie Chen, school council, teachers, gentlemen, and parents. First of all, I'd like to thank Dr. Kong for pronouncing the word gastroenterology properly. It's not the easiest word to pronounce properly. And I would also like to say that I like your speech very much, Ronnie. Instead of naming how many A-star that your schoolboys have obtained, you use Star Wars as your speech. But in my age, I actually watch Star Trek a little bit more. I'm very grateful today to be invited as the guest of your speech day again, especially since I have stepped down as the Vice Chancellor and President of my university, and you bring me here not because of my official position, but because you know me as a person. Since I relinquished my duty at the Vice Chancellor's office, I returned to my hospital and become a humble physician, a teacher, and a researcher again. I can tell you I enjoy it thoroughly. How should I explain this? This is like a fish going back into his ponds. Every day, I look after the sick and the poor. I teach the young and the enthusiastic, and I challenge the conventional wisdom and dogmas in medicine and ask, can we improve our care and relieve the pain of our patients? I enjoy this work because I find my physician's work solid and the results can be very tangible. I indulge in my research because I have hopes that there are better ways of understanding and managing illness and restoring health. I share my stories and find my experience, good or bad, success or fail, useful to some and may even be aspiring to the other students. But what I want to tell you today is you can do that, young man. Wu Sik said the best way to contribute to a society is to make yourself a useful tool in it. I repeat, he said the best way to contribute yourself to a society is not to shout and criticize every day, not to point your fingers to everyone, not to daydream and embellish how good you are, but to make yourself a useful tool in it. As the president of Beijing University in the post-war period, when China was battered by the civil war and economic crisis, Hu Shi once received a letter from a first-year student in Beijing University who wrote, "Sir, is our country still salvageable? If so, how? Is our future still hopeful? If so, why?" We, as a youth living in this day and age, are suffocating. Is there a place for us to breathe fresh air? If so, where? Hu Shi's answer was, and I quote, "Our society has come to this turmoil primarily because we were too complacent and we were too lazy." And he continued, "However, pessimism does not save a country. Chanting and shouting cannot save us. Slogans and signs cannot save us. Blaming the others and yet not putting in our own effort cannot save us." If I may repeat this in Chinese, 胡適咁樣講，正因為我哋今日種種嘅痛苦都係從前努力得唔夠嘅結果，所以我哋將來嘅恢復同埋興盛，絕對沒有捷徑，只有努力工作一條窄路，一點一滴嘅努力，一寸一尺嘅改善。悲觀係唔能夠救國嘅，吶喊係唔能夠救國，口號標語係唔能夠救國嘅，責人而自己唔努力係唔能夠救國嘅。Young man, isn't that the same for us in Hong Kong today? So if you want to have a better life, if you want Hong Kong to have an enviable future, if you want your children and your children's children to have a prosperous tomorrow, we better work hard now. Work hard to make yourself useful. If you are a musician, compose and perform the best music. If you are an athlete, train every day and make yourself faster and stronger. If you are a scientist, challenge the dogma, break the rules to create something that improves our life and mankind. If you are a writer, write the best play and poem that inspired people. If you are an economist, well, economists can say anything and rationalize everything, but nobody can prove that they are wrong. Anyway, work hard to make yourself an example for others. Our society needs all kinds of talents that put together, making a miracle. Miracle that makes people take a deep breath, raise their eyebrows, and leave a smile. Smile because your work brings good life and hope to self and to others. Our society does not need too many words that harm each other, words that make people feel despair, words that set the fire, burn the bushes, or even the whole forest. Henrik Ibsen, a 19th century Norwegian playwright, theater director, and poet, who was also referred as the father of realism, once said, "Do you know what we are, those of us who counted as pillars of society? We are society's tool, nothing more or less." He also said, "1,000 words will not leave so deep an impression as one deed." So as I step down from my Vice-Chancellor's position, I resolve to keep my head down. I'm learning new advances in cancer biology. I'm polishing my clinical skills and trying to put my research into practice. I keep my mouth shut most of the time except coming to speech days and try to find my place in my clinic and my job. How about you? Mr. Chan, you finish with Daniel, and I try to finish with Jeremiah. The Lord talked to Jeremiah, the prophet, during the time when Israel was deeply troubled, and he said, "I know what I'm doing. I have it planned out. Plan to take care of you, not abandon you. Plan to give you the future you hope for." This is our Lord's word in Jeremiah chapter 29, verses 11. So young man, the best way to contribute to a society is to make yourself a useful tool in it. Congratulations to all of you. Thank you.